right now that for the kind of, your shooting is, you've kind of scaled that back.
Yes,
recently.
definitely. I want to say scaled things back probably over the last 5 years.
Okay.
Just because me personally, I've noticed quite a big change, and it just wasn't anything that was fitting my personal life to be able to do the kind of work that people were doing. It just wasn't for me, because it's not, if I'm not going to participate in my personal life or in my regular shooting for my own stuff, it's just not something I'm comfortable doing. But that's just me.
Yeah. So then the content. So then, where would you say that what would your current status then? How would you describe yourself now as a like active, but just not?
I'm actively shooting for my own company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and do you just mainly do like solo stuff, or do you just perform with?
Most of my stuff is solo because that's what is requested. Yeah. And then there are a few girls that me and my husband do work with. I'm actually married to a performer.
Okay.
Ethan Hunt.
Okay.
We met actually on set 15 years ago. And
okay.
Ta-da! Here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was already in the industry and contracted through Digital Playground and all those places before we met. But yeah, me and him shoot a lot together. We shoot with other female talent, but most of my stuff is solo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, was that because you did the professional and the hardcore for a long, long time, and what was it like to just kind of scale it back? Do you feel like maybe more relaxed or more?
No, it's just wanting to give my fans what they actually want,
right.
And I'm just like, if that's what you guys want, cool.
Okay.
Like, it just seems very like, it's very like, there's not a lot of prep that has to go into like the solo stuff that they want to see. It's just, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's
easy. Yeah.
That's easy. It's like, nice. I don't have to go get a colonic. I don't have to like think too much about.
You have to starve yourself for a day or something. It's like,
exactly. It's just like, it's refreshing.
Okay.
To not have to be like, okay, 3 days in, I got to plan all this stuff. It can literally be done, in 24 hours.
And is that something that you've grown to enjoy more as opposed to how it when you used to shoot for companies?
Yeah, because I can do this from my home, or I can just, rent a hotel for the day or whatever. I don't have to sit in traffic. I don't have to fly to LA. I don't have to fly to Florida, and a lot of my work trips since I was pregnant and had my daughter, I've scaled back even those. Like, I don't leave for weeks on end like I used to.
Okay.
That's just not my life or my reality anymore.
Yeah. So is that part, so when you mentioned the changes to the industry, what specifically has changed that made you felt, if you want to say?
The way that certain people have driven down rates.
Okay.
Like, because a lot of people, I don't know if people don't know what the companies are getting paid from
what their revenue, what their profits are.
Exactly. I don't think people are really thinking about that. I think they're like, oh, I can go shoot and I can get X amount of dollars today. I don't think they're thinking of what that particular shoot, them being there all day doing whatever kind of shoot it was, what kind of effects long-term that could have on their body. You know what I mean? And I think me getting in at 27, having a better concept of your body as a woman and taking care of said body, that most people, when they get in at a young age, they just, you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault them. I do wish that the agents and managers and publicists maybe had a little bit more concern for their clients than they actually do, because they don't.
Yeah.
But
did you have like representation throughout your career?
I did, but it was, they wanted their cut.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying everybody's an asshole by any means. I'm just saying
but
I understand what it is and what it was. And it's exactly that.
Yeah. Well, and now, with you being able to make your own content and to distribute it yourself, you cut out any sort of middle person.
Yeah. I haven't had an agent or any of that kind of stuff in quite some time. I mean, I have feature dancing, representation, just because I'm not contacting clubs and, I'm not out and about like I used to be. So I don't know what's what anymore. So having that as kind of like a buffer go between works for me in that realm. But shooting porn, I know everybody already. They just hit me up on Instagram. They're like, are you available for a shoot? Yes or no, we'll pay your rate.
Okay.
that's cool because there shouldn't be like that, negotiate back and forth. Oh, the company owned. Well, okay, that's fine. My rate is this. Call somebody whose rate is that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not desperate by any means.
No.
Could everybody always use the money? Absolutely. But my rate is my rate.
Yeah.
Because if I do it for you for that, then my rate has changed.
Yeah.
And
have you found that because now, I feel like the dynamic has changed where it used to be it seemed like performers needed companies more than companies needed performers. And
Correct.
I feel like now that's different.
Yeah.
Because you can have performers that can have OnlyFans or can have their own distribution, create massive followings with no company work.
Right.
And it's almost like them being and so it's kind of interesting that they're not willing to pay rates when it's like, look, you're probably helping them more than they're helping you at this point.
Right. And I think that they're still going off of to stay relevant, quote unquote, shooting for so-and-so, does look good. And I've done that myself, but it's with companies that pay my rate.
Yeah.
And we don't have the back and forth, because if we have the back and forth, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Then I've been around for 20 years. What are we doing?
Yeah. So, do you see yourself ever, so have you completely closed the door on shooting with company or just?
No, not at all. It just doesn't fit for me right now.
Right now? Okay.
Which I'm not, like I said, I'm not opposed to it. There's been conversations with a few companies that just scheduling is always a big thing, because there's a couple particular gentlemen that they want me to shoot with, but does their schedule match up with my schedule?
Okay.
I got 4 kids. So a little bit of variables, like usually for a guy to get away, it's usually easier because the mom is home.
Yeah.
I'm the mom.
Yeah. So well, and then so I guess from that, because do you notice that your fans tend to at this point, do they even call for you to want to shoot with companies still, or do they just they like what you're doing now? That part I'm not really quite sure of. But usually whatever they want to see, they just message me on my platforms, and they're like, "Oh, can you shoot this?" Yeah, got it, no problem. Nice.
And they know that I normally that the guy that I use in my customs is normally Ethan Hunt, but he has a huge following too. So they're like, "Wow, 2 for the price of 1."
Yeah.